Hey VC, it's Billy here with a new update. This is a rock and recent finds update. Most of the stuff I picked up here recently has been rock stuff. It's got a couple things from Record Store Day. Most of these were picked up either online purchases or at my record store. Some of them things that I've been looking for quite a while. Glad to add to the collection. First off, Record Store Day was last Friday, and there were a couple things on the list that, as I browsed through, that I wanted to pick up. The Iron Maiden being one of them, along with the Eric Church live 10-inch. But none of my local record stores ended up getting the Eric Church on the rocks. Luckily, I have a buddy in the VC that hooked me up and picked it up for me. So we're doing a little trade. I appreciate that, Bill. So what I did end up getting was the the Iron Maiden. I think this is limited to 2,500 copies, if I'm not mistaken. First time it's pressed in the U.S. So happy to have that one. The other one that I picked up, I didn't even see this one on the list. I don't know if it was a regional release or what, but the Bluegrass, Fade to Bluegrass Metallica tribute. One thing I am kind of bummed about, though, is it doesn't have the the Record Store Day. There's nothing mentioned on the front or the back with the Record Store Day sticker. No limited edition. This one, from what the Record Store Day website says, it was limited to 1,000. But nowhere on here again is there any limited edition or number or anything like that. I was kind of bummed about that, but always glad to have it. Next, everybody has seen this a gazillion times in the VC here over the last week or so. Metallica Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I was super pumped about getting this record. Was actually able to pick it up Thursday before the release. Gave it 4 or 5 spins over the weekend of its release, and was just blown away by the record. I'm so glad to hear a heavier, thrashier sound. I was going to do a track-by-track rundown review on this, but time just got away from me, and things have just been so busy with work and everything else. But as I've been able to set and dig into the record a lot more and let it settle with me, there's probably 3 tracks that I'm really just not that crazy about. I mean, they're decent, but I really enjoy the heavier stuff, the thrashier stuff. The Hardwired, Atlas Rise, Moth into Flame, which is one of the best songs on here. And My Savage, Halo on Fire. The first record plays pretty well all the way through, and I can just live with that. You get over to the second record, and the first couple of tracks are just like sleepers for me. Confusion is nothing that I care to really listen to a whole lot, but moving on, you get Here Comes Revenge, Murder One, and the way they end this record with Spit Out the Bone, the way they bookend this record is fantastic. I mean, it starts out with Hardwired to Self-Destruct and ends with Spit Out the Bone, and you want to talk about 2 heavy, thrashy songs that reminiscent of Ride the Lightning or Master of Puppets, or even Injustice for All. For me, it's a little bit more Injustice for All sounding, but man, it's phenomenal, totally killer. This next pickup was something that I guess I've just kind of forgotten about it over the years, and I didn't have it on my list. I was actually shocked I didn't have it on my Discogs want list. And the other day I was going through, it's been a few weeks ago, I was going through updating things, and I realized that I didn't have it on my list. Because I was adding another record from this particular artist, and as soon as I added it, I went and saw that there were a couple people that already had it in their market for sale, and it's Steve Earle and the Dukes. Shut Up and Die Like an Aviator. This is, I believe, from 1991, but it's a killer set. Great live tracks. It sounds phenomenal. It's kind of back when Steve was. He was really messed up at the time, but so his vocals aren't really top notch, but they're not as good as they could be. Like, say if you just put on Guitar Town or and anything like that, Exit Zero, Copperhead Road, any of the older stuff. That's what all this is made up of. Is those 3 records. It does a nice Rolling Stones cover on here. With I believe he has, is the Rolling Stones cover on here? Yeah, Dead Flowers is on this one. There's a Springsteen cover on here, State Trooper, which is phenomenal. I was happy to add that one to the collection. It's a tough record to find. I believe that is it's a European pressing or a German pressing. Good stuff though. I don't think they press that one in the States. Then another one I just picked up was a first pressing of Red Hot Chili Peppers, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. Good stuff. This is I wasn't really into them prior to hearing this on the radio. I know I came in late to the game, but when I heard all this stuff on the radio, then I went back and picked up their other stuff and got into them. Really dig their stuff. This one's going to kind of probably surprise a few of you guys, but I am a huge Pink fan, and I think she's probably the best female vocalist out there actively, all genres. I love listening to Pink. I've seen her a couple times in concert. We took my wife, my son. We just all love Pink. This one here is super tough to find. Try this. It has Trouble, God is a DJ, a couple other things like that, but this there again was never released in the States. It's a limited edition print anyway, and it's just virtually impossible to find. I found a seller in Japan. Actually, I've been looking for this one. I've had my eye on this one for a couple of years, and I've never been one to pop for what they're asking for it. And there was a seller in Japan that had just listed one. It came up in my list on Discogs, and it was really cheap. Something that I was like, it's almost too good to be true. But from his description, he said everything was VG plus, and I had him send me some close-ups and some pictures and things like that. He was really good to communicate with. I felt safe and sent off and got the record, and it's gorgeous. I mean, if anything, the records are closer to near mint than VG plus. The cover has a little bit of edge wear on the side here, but other than that, it's beautiful. I'm happy to add that one. These next the next 3 records, and the last 3 records, are things that I picked up at my record shop, local record shop. That the day that I picked up my Thorns turntable, which I've got hooked up and set up, sounds great. I will share some pictures and things like that with you guys soon. But anyway, while I was in there, he keeps a stack of stuff, all the new arrivals, as he's going through before he's entered them into the database and puts them on the floor. He's got all that stuff up there by his desk. And I was digging through, and I asked him if I could, take a look. So I'm digging through everything, and I found that Johnny Cash with his Hot and Blue guitar that I showed in my last video, my country update. Like I said, there were a couple things that I knew if I hadn't have picked them out of that stack, they wouldn't have been there. Once they hit the floor, those things just go fast. And this next one is one of those. What we're listening to right now is Danzig. Huge fan of Danzig. I just love the grooves and the melodic structures of the songs. But found this Danzig 4, which is one of the more underrated Danzig albums, but I love it. The first side, the first 5 or 6 songs play as good as any heavy metal record that I have in my collection. I absolutely love those songs. The second side, not so much. It gets a little bit more into the satanic and cultish stuff that I really just, I'm not into it for that. I'm into it for the groove and the music. But a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous copy of this original U.S. pressing from '94, I believe. And it's a gatefold. On the inside of it, so here's the gatefold there. And on the inside, when I got it home, I wasn't aware. I was cleaning the records. I just assumed, since it was a gatefold, that it was 2 records. This record was in there. And it just, it was in the sleeve. I pulled it out and just real quick glance while I was at the store, just check the condition and everything. Well, you got Danzig 4, and there was also a copy of Danzig 1, which is what we're listening to right now. Unfortunately, there's no outer jacket to it, but it does have the inner sleeve, and the record is VG Plus. It's great. Always good to have an extra copy. Maybe someday I'll run across another outer sleeve. If maybe somebody's got a trashed record and then wants to get rid of their Danzig 1 outer sleeve, hit me up. Looking for one. And then lastly, Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell. I had never had this record in my collection, but I saw it. Somebody had just recently posted a video within the last few months, or it could have been I was going back and watching somebody's older videos, and this one came up, and I don't know if it was LJ or Bill or gosh, I don't know who would have had it, but anyhow, I picked it up, put it on, came home, cleaned it. It's in good shape anyway, but I cleaned it, put it on the player, and love it. Absolutely love it. Great record. Glad to have it. Love Sabbath, but now glad to have this as well. That wraps up this update. I have 2 more that I'm going to be posting here soon. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. But they're finds that I had at a garage sale, a yard sale. I hit some killer finds. I showed you some of that, my country stuff from one yard sale, and then I hit another sale probably in the last 3 weeks that had a ton of great old rock stuff, and I'm happy to share that with you. Normally you'd find the same old garbage there, but this was one of those good ones that I found some good stuff. And then thrift store finds. So these next couple updates, I'm going to, because there's a lot of rock stuff, I'm going to separate it into 2 different updates. They're going to be rock and roll. So guys, if you like what you see, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming over, all the new subscribers, all the comments, all the messages. It's great. If you like what you see, click like, leave a comment down below, and we'll talk at you later. Take care.